What's up, guys? Welcome back to the doctor's office. I am Dr. K. Knight, here to give you proper diagnosis and prognosis and everything comics and comic book characters. I love old cartoons. I do. I literally, when I was little, I used to watch, my mom's favorite is the Herculoids. That came out the 50s, I think. So we used to watch the Herculoids, we used to watch jonnyquest, we used to watch Space Ghost, Coast to Coast. We used to watch fucking Inchai, Private Eye, Jabberjaw, Speed Buggy, Speed Racer, the original cartoon, or the original anime anyway. I think Speed Racer X was after that. We used to watch, and then and that was on just Boomerang, and so they had Tom and Jerry, Looney Tunes, all that stuff. Then of course when everything switched over, we were watching Dexter's Lab, Sheep in the Big City, Time Squad, Samurai Jack, etc., etc. So it brings me nothing but happiness to see old cartoons getting comic books. I was about to say comic book reboots, but just comic books in general. And one thing that I'm super happy about. So first of all, I haven't read the jonnyquest comic books, mainly because I never remember. I always forget that there are jonnyquest comic books, just like I always forget there are Space Ghost comic books. However, one thing that I am truly enjoying right now is the first issue of a crossover that has been, I don't know how many years in the making at this point. And it's Space Ghost and jonnyquest. So right now, coming from Dynamite, we have spacequest. So of course it starts off in Paradise Key in 1965. I'm pretty sure. With jonnyquest and his father, and they're all kind of just chilling, getting tan, going swimming and whatnot. But his father is doing some research, essentially, because a few issues ago, or in another book, I think it's jonnyquest 1 through 5, they went back in time, or forward in time actually. They went to the future and they saw a few things. And so, he's trying to essentially wrap his head around that situation. And somebody from the government who is a friend of theirs comes and is like, hey, I would love to just be working on my tan, like you guys. However, I am here on business. Something happened in Nevada, specifically at Area 51, and I want you to come take a look at it. That's basically what he's saying. And of course, Haji comes out and Johnny is just super excited because they're like, oh my God, we are about to go see fucking Area 51. This shit is about to be so cool. Now, while they are having that conversation, he does ask about race. And Dr. Quest is just well, he's taking a personal, right? He's elsewhere, just handling something. Really, race is in Marrakesh, and he runs into Jade. The reason he's going to go talk to Jade is because he saw something in the future, and he really needs to talk to her about it. And he shows up, and they're having their little flirtation, but it's obvious that it's he's there on business. And so he's very serious, and she's just kind of doing a little flattering thing, but it's obvious that he's really this is a really intense thing. However, one of the things you don't want to do is when you go to the future, right? When you time travel. So when you time travel to the past, you're not supposed to fucking touch anything, right? Because that could definitely alter the future. When you go to the future and you learn stuff about yourself, you're not supposed to fucking tell people. Especially if that is a future that you want to come true, because of course if you go to the future, see all this stuff, go back to the future and manipulate it somehow instead of just letting it naturally happen, then it's not going to happen the way that it's supposed to happen, and you have then created an alternate timeline and an alternate future. There's a whole lot of things, technical things that happen when you time travel. So his want to tell her what happened in the future is absolutely crazy to me, because I feel that is just a general rule that you should know. Meanwhile, the rest of the group go to Nevada, they go to Area 51, and they meet with this general who very clearly has an attitude, and he really doesn't actually want them there, but because Quest is absolutely amazing from Intelligence 1, he was going to be the one they recommended anyway, because he's the best. So he's obviously pissed off about that fact, and it's just like, you very clearly don't know what it is that you're dealing with, and you're going to need somebody from Intelligence 1 to even fucking tell you. So drop the attitude. Yeah? Yeah. So they go in, and it's very clearly a spaceship. However, the general doesn't want them to say that it's a spaceship, even though Jonny and Haji make that very obvious statement, because that's very obviously what the fuck they're looking at. And but the person who came to get them is just like, what the general means is that we don't want to say that without concrete proof, right? We don't know what it is. It doesn't turn on. It doesn't do anything. It's kind of just here. And, you know, Quest just does ask that question, like, did they try to turn it on? He was like, yeah, but it doesn't have any movement, and it's not really a source of power that we can find. So they are asking for Quest to basically check this out and see what he can find out about it. Meanwhile, there are a couple of people who are trying to break into Area 51, and this is 1965, so there's not as much security as there should be, or as there is currently now, because I live in Nevada, and if you go out to Area 51 and even step over the line, you're getting shot. So there's quite literally a line. So like, it's not like you can't visit Area 51, because you can. You just can't go in Area 51. So you can go, and there's like a sign that says Area 51, and there are guards stationed there, and there is a line where you are allowed to be and where you are not allowed to be. If you are to even set foot, like not even a whole foot, literally your toe over the line, they are going to shoot you, right? So yeah. It's a lot. And they actually, when you do go, and mind you, there is a tour that takes you to Area 51. You just don't go in. There are like black vehicles that sit on the hills that are near Area 51. And those are like the sniper people. And those are the people who are going to shoot you. Not even the military people that are literally standing in front of you also with guns, but the snipers that are sitting in the cars. I digress. So these guys are like, oh my god, whatever they have in there, it's going to be worth a fucking fortune. I can't wait to break in there tonight and go get it. So Race is still in Marrakesh, and he's still like trying to decide whether or not he should tell Jade. And after basically looking her in the eyes, he's just like, I don't think that I should have even come here. Probably not, because again, rule, don't fucking tell people what you saw in the future. If you know, it's just don't do it. So he's been working on it for about 2 days. The general comes in, attitude ablaze, and he's like, you've had 2 days to figure this out. But the conversation that he was having with Jonny is, they don't know what it is, but it is far too advanced to even try to consider, you know, what it is that they're considering. They can't plug it in. They can't really even seem to find a power system. Without being able to turn it on, they can't determine what it is, even though it's very clearly a spaceship. But they can't determine what it is or what it does. The general, when he comes in, is like, this could be a weapon that we could use. He was like, I wouldn't even take it that far. You aren't even able to turn it on. It's far too advanced, and you thinking that you'd be able to use it as a weapon is absolutely fucking insane. So he's like, I'm going to call Intelligence 1 and tell them that you're completely useless and you'll lose your job. So later that night, Jonny and Haji do break in, and they take a chip that they got from the future, something that they built in the future. They just took it from his father, and they plug it into the power box that's right there, and it starts turning on things. At the same time, those people who are trying to steal that, they are coming in and they start firing at the boys, and the boys end up getting onto the pod that's right there, and they end up switching places. The people that they switch places with are Jan, Jace, and Blip. And it's really funny because Haji, Quest, and Haji, Jonny, and Bandit are the ones that switch places. So the people who are coming to steal stuff, they're like, oh shit, that's weird. And they like run away and leave. So now, we have those three who are now inside of Area 51. So they turn on their invisi suits, and they're speaking in their language and everything like that. And so they are kind of just skulking around, and they are in the same room as Dr. Quest. Dr. Quest can sense them, and he's just like, and he uses like this gigantic sonic thing to essentially pull them out of their like invisible stealth mode. And he's like, oh shit, I knew I was being watched, but I didn't know I was being watched by like such advanced, like technologically advanced creatures. Like, what the hell? And so they're talking like in their language, but of course he doesn't understand, so they instantly start translating and they start speaking English. And so he's like, what language are you speaking? Like, what? And I believe Jace is the one who's talking. He's like, well, we have like these language translators built into our suits. Your sonic thing disrupted our like invisi device, and so we're just here. And they're like, where are we, please? And he's like, oh, you're on Earth, but if you are here, where are the boys? Now, my question is he asking where are the boys, like, if you're here, where are the boys? Because that would imply that he knew that the boys were there. I don't think that he knew that the boys were there at all in any capacity. So he's just like, where are the boys? Now that I see that you're here, so obviously they've done something. Not if you're here, where are the boys? Like, he knew, right? So this is like, fuck, where are they? Because obviously they've done something. They have done something. So they have switched places with those three, and they are on a ship in space. And so Bandit is like barking and freaking out, and they're like, whatever is in here, I hope it's friendly. And it turns out to be Space Ghost. The artwork is absolutely fabulous. This crossover is about to be so fucking fun and amazing, because I can only imagine what story they decide to put with this, because it looks like it's going to just be a lot of fun. And that's essentially what they've done with the Herculoids. The Herculoid story from Dynamite is actually just a really fun story. And it's putting them in just like their own dynamic. So having jonnyquest and Space Ghost cross over into a comic book series, I think this is just going to be so much fun, and I can't wait for this. Their introduction of Space Ghost, putting Space Ghost in on that last page, he looks both amazing and terrifying. So I just know, and just knowing Jonny, he's going to just be so excited that he's looking at a fucking alien at this point. So I don't even think he's going to be terrified. Haji, on the other hand, is going to be super cautious, and Bandit is just going to be Bandit. So I'm really excited to see what they do with this, and I can't wait, honestly. But that is it for this episode of The Doctor's Office. Make sure to follow Ghastly Gospels, and make sure to follow on the Doctor's Office podcast. If you haven't, there's several episodes on there. So, but yeah. Oh, buy the book if you haven't bought the book. But I will see you guys at your next checkup.